Welcome to Startup Hack. We're going to talk about why using .NET is the best programming language to use, and we're going to go into a little more detail on why we think that's the best and why it is that we're teaching it here at Startup Hack's Coding Bootcamp. So let's dive in and get started. Welcome to Startup Hack. My name is Spencer Tomlinson. I am the CEO and co-founder of CleanRouter, as well as many other products. Here are some lessons that I've learned building a successful business while challenging startup norms. My challenge is to push you to rethink startup success. Welcome to Startup Hack. All right, let's go ahead and dig in and get started. So we're going to talk about why .NET Core and .NET Core is particularly the best programming language that we teach, and the one that we really teach right now here at Startup Hack's Coding Bootcamp. And nope, we're not going to be diving into some code. Let's dig into some examples here and talk about some good statistics. So 20 years. It's been 20 years. I can still barely believe it. And remember, the first time I went, I was actually a student at ASU and working full-time at the power company here in Phoenix, Arizona called SRP. And I remember one night there was going to be a representative from Microsoft who was coming. At the time, I was actually programming in old classic, what they called classic ASP or classic active server pages, ASP. And so this was pre-ASP.NET. But classic ASP, I was using VB script to write against, really mostly against Microsoft Access databases, and this guy was coming. I heard there was this representative coming to ASU, Arizona State University, where I was going to school at the time as a computer science undergrad, and he was coming to introduce this new language called C#, and everyone kind of giggled because, of course, that's kind of like C++, but it's called C#. And this new thing called a framework for .NET. Now, Java was really kind of taking the world by storm with the JVM, and all the hardcore C++ people were poo-pooing on it because of the VM and how slow the JVM was. And he came to explain what the intermediate language and what .NET was. And so, anyways, funny memories. I remember back to that, and I just remember thinking, wow, what is this thing? And I went to work the next day and I downloaded the .NET beta, and I was so excited by it. Very interested. It barely worked. It was miserable. Like, I didn't even write anything useful for quite some time. I don't think I was even allowed to really put it onto a server until ASP.NET 1.1. I think was when I started doing that, roughly around 2004, I believe. So anyways, now fast forward, it's 2022. And it's been 20 years. Why developers are still using .NET. I thought this was a fascinating article. Stack Overflow functions from a pool of applications, and from the beginning, the company heavily depended on .NET. The company has migrated its entire application over to .NET Core. The .NET Core 3.0 version has improved the application performance and allowed the company to deliver information faster than ever before. .NET Core has enabled Stack Overflow to use cloud. Azure has become their primary platform, and cloud deployment has become much simpler. And I can definitely attest to this. I give a lot of good examples to just how simple and easy out of the box it is to get a full CI/CD platform using Azure and .NET Core. So through .NET Core 3.0, the company is adding more modularity to different sections of the application. It allows developers to host modules in different areas, enabling them to experiment with things like Kubernetes and Docker. Today, .NET Core is easily behind the scalability of Stack Overflow. Today, about 50 million people visit Stack Overflow every month. Around 14,000 websites are Stack Overflow customers, making it one of the largest platforms for developers. So .NET and its omnipresent usage. So in 2021, .NET was the most used framework among developers worldwide, with a share of 34.2 developers using it for development purposes. It is closely followed by NumPy and .NET Core. So I think that's interesting. So the .NET Framework and .NET Core, third position with a share of 31%. So when you add these two together, that's almost a whopping over 60% between .NET and .NET Core. That's crazy. 7.2 million websites currently using ASP.NET in their technology stack, ranked 22% of the top 10,000 websites in the world using ASP.NET. Developers in 125 countries use the framework. .NET's been the top 10 list for framework for over a year. Most developers using C# build applications in .NET. While the framework supports 60+ programming language, C# is the preferred language by most developers. I agree with that. So as we can see here, most libraries and frameworks among developers worldwide, according to Statista, is 34.5% is .NET. So it's even gone up since the article. I mean, it's crazy. And NumPy being an interesting second. These other ones are very interesting of these libraries that are being used, but I mean, .NET is just, kicking some serious tail here. And so why? From being a Windows-only software to .NET 7, the technology has become a long ways. In 2016, when Microsoft first released the open source version of .NET, everyone went berserk. And I agree. I was one of those. So back when I was in college, I was studying the Linux kernel. In fact, I had a couple Linux kernel classes. And I remember some developers telling me, man, the only reason you would ever develop on Windows is so that you can use Visual Studio. It's hands down the best IDE, and at the time it clearly was. But Visual Studio and Microsoft's investment into Visual Studio has clearly paid dividends through the years. When they announced it in 2016, it obviously took a few years for that to get off the ground. I think I wrote my first production app in .NET Core in 2018 and immediately fell in love with it. In 2009, I started writing on the Linux kernel on a lot of different things, and for a time switched to write on PHP just because .NET was still only strictly Windows, and Windows hosting was expensive, but now, holy cow. So in 2018, once it came onto the Linux kernel, I didn't look back. The merging of my two perfect worlds came together, and .NET Core, so my beloved .NET running on Windows was great. So some of the reasons: seamless security, high performance. Man, .NET is so fast. You get a .NET Core on Linux, I mean, just it's ridiculous. Powerful libraries. Ultimately, .NET has been a boon for developers for over 20 years, and it's still stirs the imagination. I stand by the declaration that if you want to build an application as fast as possible, you get an experienced .NET developer who knows how to use the platform, and they can build it faster than any other platform out there. And I would love to be challenged by that, but bring it. And that's the reason why here at Startup Hack that we are teaching with .NET. We love it. We're proud of it. We are the exclusive .NET Web Development Bootcamp with a guaranteed one-on-one instruction. So we provide you the full stack. By the end of the course, you'll be a full stack .NET Bootcamp. Allows you to get your first job within 14 to 16 weeks. We guarantee you that you'll get 1 hour of instructor-led training one-on-one with just you. In fact, it's a requirement of the course so that you can work together. You can still work at your own pace, but they will work with you. Here are some of the companies that we've built, again, using .NET and using all the different stacks, and lots of different things that you can say. So make sure you check out our website, and if you are looking, I mean, we are fully building on top of C# 7.3. We are building on top of Azure. We're going to build with Angular 14 on top of them, teaching full REST APIs. So if you, I would love to hear opinions out there, but at the same time, I'm going to stand by my fact, and it's going to be pretty hard to sway me as a developer for 25 years to believe that anything but .NET Core is the best out there. So check out our website. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I love to bring you all good things. I'd love to give a debate to anybody who wants to debate on different technologies. And otherwise, we will catch you next time.